Okay, so let's set this scene. We're going way, way back to the Triassic period. You've got to imagine this. The whole planet is basically one giant landmass called Pangaea. It's covered in these huge fern prairies, but it's also a world that's, well, it's on the brink of some massive changes, a real testing ground for all life on Earth.
And yeah, that quote right there really hits the nail on the head. A brutal evolutionary war is brewing. And this isn't just about who's on top of the food chain. No, this is a fight for the future of the entire planet. A showdown between the creatures that have ruled for ages and a new kind of reptile that's ready to take over.
All right, so first up, let's meet the old guard. These guys are the reigning champs of the Triassic, but they have no idea that their long, long reign is about to face a serious challenge.
Just look at that number, 50 million years. I mean, try to wrap your head around that. That's how long the ancestors of this group basically ran the show. They were the establishment, the top dogs on Pangaea for what must have felt like an eternity.
And these are the creatures we're talking about. A huge herd of Plesiosaurs. Now here's the thing you need to know. These are not dinosaurs. They're a much older model of reptile. And they are absolute heavyweights. We're talking one-ton beasts. But believe it or not, they're actually gentle herbivores just using those tusks to dig for roots. And what's really kind of sad is they're the last ones left. The very last survivors of their kind.
So, you've met the reigning champs. Now, it's time to meet the contender. A brand new kind of reptile is just starting to show up. They're pretty rare at this point, but they are the first sign of something that's going to change everything. Yep, we're finally talking about the dinosaurs.
So, you might be asking, what's the big deal? What actually makes a dinosaur a dinosaur? Well, it really all comes down to their hips and their ankles. This special design meant they could stand up perfectly balanced on two legs, and that little tweak, it was an absolute game changer for speed and agility.
And this guy, the Coelophysis, is a perfect example of this new design. I mean, think about it. The complete opposite of that big, heavy Plesiosaurus. This thing is light, it's unbelievably fast, and it's built to get through the tough times, like a long drought where there's hardly any water. With its crazy fast reactions, it's basically a lean, mean killing machine.
So let's just put them side by side. The difference is just wow. On one side, you have the old guard, ancient, massive, relying on pure power. And on the other, the new contender, a brand new design that's lightweight, predatory, and built for speed. It's the classic matchup, isn't it? Brute force versus lightning-fast efficiency.
So you've got two totally different game plans for staying alive, and they are about to collide hard. Let's see how these two strategies actually stack up out in the wild.
The Plesiosaurus herd, they're sticking to the old playbook. You know, safety in numbers. Their whole defense strategy is basically just be enormous and stick together. They just form this giant wall of muscle. And hey, you can't blame them. For millions of years, that strategy was pretty much unbeatable.
But the Coelophysis? It's rewriting the rules of the hunt. It knows it can't take on a one-ton beast head-to-head. No way. It's way smarter than that. Instead, it uses that incredible speed to find a weakness, to pick off the old and the vulnerable members that can't keep up with the herd. It's like a surgical strike against a fortress.
So, which one of these strategies is going to win out in this harsh, changing world? Well, the verdict comes in fast, and it is crystal clear. That new dinosaur model, it had a killer edge that was about to completely reshape life on this planet.
So what was their secret sauce? Well, it boils down to a few key advantages. Dinosaurs like the Coelophysis were just faster and way more agile. They were more efficient, meaning they could get by with less water, which is huge during a drought. And let's be honest, they were simply better predators. You put all of that together, and you have the recipe for total domination.
And that is really the big picture here. This little skirmish on the plains of Pangaea, it wasn't just some random fight. It was a preview, a trailer for the main event. This was the spark that would ignite a dynasty, an empire that would rule the Earth for a mind-boggling 150 million years. This was the dawn of the age of dinosaurs.
And you know, this whole story leaves us with this one huge, timeless question, doesn't it? When the world shifts, when things get tough, what really matters more? Is it raw power and strength, or is it the ability to change, to adapt? We see this play out everywhere, not just in nature, but in business and technology, everything. The dinosaurs gave us their answer loud and clear. The real question is, what's ours?